Wednesday, the 17th of May. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your Frontier Opening Bell. Just as always, get a quick wrap-up of the markets. The Nigerian stock market started Monday with just about 6 basis points upside. That got a bit bigger by 36 basis points on Tuesday. The BRVM did about 20 basis points yesterday, 196.47 after losing the 200 index reading back on Friday. The Egyptian markets continued for its third trading day in Cairo, down by 0.5%, while the Nairobi stock market made a comeback of 4.06%, a very hefty comeback on Tuesday. However, the Nairobi stock market index still strongly below its psychological level of 200 and went all the way down to 100 and now is trying to claw its way back. The South African stock market, the GSE, down by 0.37% on Tuesday, the biggest exchange on the continent. That's holding below the 78,000 level. Let's just go on straight. What's the big stories in East Africa? Of course, you know already that President William Ruto has nominated Dr. Kamal Tuji, an economist and a former official of the IMF, as the new central bank governor to replace Patrick Njoroge, who will be leaving on the 19th of June. Njoroge will be sorely missed from the Central Bank of Kenya, but the new helmsman, Dr. Tuji, will be taking over from Patrick Njoroge at a time when Kenya is doing a whole lot of conversations between the World Bank and the IMF, and it looks like the right man for the job. The big question is whether we'll be able to help Kenya mobilize domestic capital rather than borrowing from either China or from the Western economies. Equity Group of Kenya, the largest banking and financial services group, reported first quarter, January to March, growing earnings 6.6% to about 2.3 or 12.3 billion shillings for the first 3 months of this year. Next door, Tanzania says it's opening 3,000 metric tons LPG, liquefied petroleum gas depot, the largest in Tanga. And Uganda and Rwanda says their power connectivity project is back on track between the two Eastern African communities. Let's get on to see what's the big stories in West Africa. MTN Group, headquartered in South Africa, says it's likely going to block text messages from Nigerian banks over about 5 billion rand in debt that Nigerian banks are owing. It's a big story that the Central Bank of Nigeria is wading into already and trying to prevent this major catastrophe if MTN decides to switch off Nigerian banks from its platform. Nigerian Exchange Limited has issued a statement asking everyone in the market to be transparent as far as big ticket off-the-floor transactions are concerned. We saw some big deals in that region recently on the shares of Transco and a few other companies. In Ghana, the market is looking at the Bank of Ghana's central bank's interest rate decision to be a hold later this week. 29.5%. Inflation decelerated very strongly over the past 3 months, and the Ghanaian cedi has been recovering since the month of March. So expectations are the central bank will hold interest rates on Friday. Ghana is also looking to tap the initial $700 million from the IMF if the board approve that by this weekend. So we're all eyes on Ghana and the IMF this Friday. And Société Générale, listed on the Ivorian stock market, says it's paying 34 billion CFA franc as gross dividend to shareholders for full year 2022. And the BRVM listed beverage maker Solebra reporting profit decline of 21 billion CFA franc for the full year ended December 2022. Take it all the way to Southern Africa and look into your big headlines with South Africa's unemployment at 32.9% for the first quarter, January to March, while Africa's biggest telco, MTN, is planning a new mega fiber optic cable that will run across about 12 or 10 countries in Africa, about 3 in Africa, including Kenya, DR Congo, and Nigeria. What MTN is trying to do with this about $320 million investment, roughly about 6 billion rand, is to expand connectivity across the continent and raise the quality of data streaming, video, and every other thing else in terms of digital footprints. Angola's ETU Energy says it's targeting 50,000 barrels per day production by the year 2025 from that field, while Zimbabwe's Mercantile Exchange started with maize trading just last week. Now it's onboarding livestock and horticulture as well on the exchange, and that's moving forward. So we're looking into the North Africa's market space with a couple of headlines with outlook on Egypt. So what will be the biggest story for Egypt when the central bank decides next interest rate direction? In the meantime, very surprising figures coming out of Tunisia that despite the country's political turmoil and the protests against the administration of President Said, the Tunisian economy, the North African economy, recorded 2.1% GDP growth for the first quarter of this year. Well, congratulations, and let's take it all the way from here. And that's your Frontier Opening Bell. This Wednesday, keep it up. The market week's just about halfway. We'll see you again tomorrow on Frontier Opening Bell. Bye for now.